Let's see what we got here. How's everybody doing? Looks like no one else is in here. I don't know why I can't pop out the chat. How you doing, Pete? Uh, okay, well, dang it. If what I was trying to do is I was trying to pop the chat out so that I could look at it on a separate screen. Uh, so that's what I'm sitting here complaining about. There's something else going on. I think it's my mouse is giving me problems. There it is. Just hit the mouse on the table a few times and it'll start working. Actually, it didn't. It helped, but it doesn't. Okay. Happy Easter. You've been staying busy, Pete? Uh, Waiting on some other people to get in here. I don't know how long we're gonna go tonight. I figure maybe we'll make this one short. Uh, Happy Easter, Rob. Man, I can't wait for this new series, Fallout, to come out. I never played the game, but I'm looking forward to the series. Happy Easter, Lisa. Uh, yes, sir. It's doing pretty decent. Uh, Buddy of mine is texting me right now. He called me one day and he was talking about uh he had a cabana he was putting up and he wanted to, what's the word I'm looking for, uh mount it, and he was mounting it on top of pavers. And I told him, I said, well, the pavers may not hold it all that well, wind, it could pull the pavers up. And we got to thinking, and instead of digging a big old huge hole, which was my first recommendation to him, and filling it full of concrete to mount everything down, we got to talking about it and decided that maybe get some of those sand augers, um, bigger ones, and pull them into the ground under one of those pavers. Drill a hole through the paver so the top comes out, and just mount the gazebo or cabana or whatever it is to that. And so he's got it up now, and hopefully he does pretty good. He's up in Chicago. Runs a He owns a plating business in Chicago. So, but yeah, that waste oil project. I had a setback. I think I had a setback. It was Monday. A guy gave me 100 gallons of oil, I went to go get it, and my pump give out on me. It did roughly, well, it did 2/3 of a drum. I actually did 1/3, let it cool down because it was getting hot as heck. Did another third, it was getting hot as heck. And when I started to use it on the last um, third, it started letting the smoke out. So once the magic smoke leaves, stuff don't work right no more. So I got a refund from Amazon. I just got to send it back. Yeah, I don't know. You go to pumping, hand cranking 100 gallons at a time, and it could get a little frustrating. I mean, Rob, I don't know how old you are, man, but at 52, uh, I just ain't got all that energy. uh, so what everybody do for Easter? I understand. Uh, my Easter wasn't quiet. I had grandbabies here, and but it was good. They went out there and went crazy, uh, looking for eggs. Okay, uh, enjoy the 6 month old. We've got a grandbaby that is he's about 6 months old now. It's hard to remember. I think he was born in September, or was it? I don't know. Yeah. Howdy, Jeff. How was your Easter, Jeff? Pete, did you have some good lunch here, Pete? Who else am I missing here? Sorry. Oh, NASCAR. I wish I could get back into NASCAR. I just haven't watched it in so long. Let's see. Ham and ratchets. I usually eat ham for Easter. Uh, this year I stayed up. I stayed up to 4 a.m. this morning. I'm tired, by the way. I stayed up to 4 a.m. this morning using my new pellet smoker. Well, it's new. It's a few weeks old now. Uh, and I did a brisket, a whole pork butt, a double turkey breast, and a rack of ribs. And of course, the brisket was the last to come off last night. So about 4 in the morning, sometime I got to bed a little bit after that. I was wore slap out, and then I got up again at 10:30 this morning. The brisket is delicious. The turkey was a little dry. I need to figure that one out. The pork butt was delicious, and the ribs, whew, they were they were good. Um, we pretty much gave everything away except for the brisket, and then what was left of the brisket, I made 4 portions and I froze it. Uh, I will post a little video of me, a short of me after I vacuum sealed the bags, or maybe putting a piece in one of the vacuum seal bags. Uh, Spatchcock the birds. I'll have to look that up. Uh, I've I've done chicken a fair amount, and usually the way I do it's okay, but it still dries out real quick. Like it's okay the first time you cut it open, but it don't take long and it dries out quick. But my briskets, they're pretty good. If if you want to do a brisket, um understand you need to figure out your fire first. You need to get your fire management down. If you don't want to do that, get you a decent pellet smoker like I did, because doing the fire stinks. Managing it all day. I've done it for so long, and when I bought this pellet smoker, I'm a happy man. So much happier doing it this way than playing with trying to keep it at a perfect temperature for 12 to 14 hours. Just sucks. And but once you get your fire down, I can tell you how to do your brisket. And pretty much the way I do mine is I trim it out pretty good, and then I'll take bacon grease and I use that as a binder. So I smother it in bacon grease, and not smother, but I rub it. I rub my meat with grease. Um, yeah. And then I take pretty much 50-50 coarse ground pepper, coarse sea salt. There we go. Coarse ground pepper, coarse sea salt, and just about a tablespoon of cayenne. And I mix those up real good, and then I sprinkle it all over the brisket, and I throw it in there. And my my new smoker, I didn't have to. I don't have to wrap it till late in the game. I'm not even sure I needed to wrap it, but on my old one, I would have typically wrapped it at around 6 hours to keep it from getting extremely bitter and smoky. And then I would have put it back on there, maybe even put some extra grease on the paper after wrapping it, put it back on there, and then let it go until it reached about 220 degrees. And once it reached 220 degrees, I pull it out. I wrap it up some more. I wrap it up in a towel. I drop it in a cooler, and I let it sit for hours. It'll sit forever resting, and it allows that juice to soak back up. Yeah, but that's my brisket. If you want to know more, message me or something. Uh, Now what did I miss? Sounds really good. Just takes brisket takes forever. Um, but any of them take pretty good while if you want to do it. I will try a fast and hot burn here one of these days, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I got plenty of smoke flavor in mine this time, and I'm not sure. I did try the last time I used it. I just used it quickly, and I threw some steaks in there and smoked them for a little bit, and then put them on the grill. And they didn't gain a lot of smoke flavoring. But yesterday, I smoked everything for about 7 or 8 hours before I ever wrapped it. And I never wrapped my ribs. I just pulled them out, and they were nice and smoky. They were perfect. So I don't live in a good state for the solar eclipse. I'm just south of the line. Like I'd need to travel about 60 miles. Okay, that's good. Good to know about the temp getting cold. Um, I am thinking about running a flue out of my sunroom. 'Cause that's where I keep it anyway. I'm thinking about running a flue out of my sunroom and just running it in there, but I don't know. Uh, but it didn't use a whole lot of pellets, and that was running it for it was 13 hours. See, no, 10, 11, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 hours. It was a 15-hour deal. Uh, Eclipse. I think it's the 8th. The eclipse is the 8th. Uh, the grease fire, yeah, I keep it emptied. I also keep the try to keep the pan full of water, the water pan. Um, I need to do a review on the Pit Boss. Is what I need to do. It's a tool for sure. uh, let's see. What day is cool? I'm saying Papa in the house. I haven't seen Papa yet. He hasn't spoke up. He might be spending his time with his grandbabies and everything. Yeah, so yours is a Pit Boss too. Yeah, I see that now. Yeah, I like the Pit Boss. I guess Pit Boss, the owners of Pit Boss, designed Traeger, and then someone bought Traeger, and then Pit Boss went out on their own, or maybe vice versa. I don't know, but it's something like that. So 850 Pro. Okay, mine's the vertical. Um, I had tons of room, and I had enough room to put three more racks of ribs on one rack that was had more two more racks of ribs on a rack that had one rack of ribs on it, and then I had another empty rack, and I probably could have put more where I had the turkey and the pork butt. And I did the what is it? I did the ribs closer to the bottom, pork butt and turkey, and then the brisket on top. No, I don't have a Blackstone grill. My brother does, and he loves that thing. I've got a griddle that I put on my stovetop that I really like, but those Blackstones are big. I might get one. If I got one, it would be a smaller one to use with my camper or my toy hauler. Hey, was there something I was thinking about giving away this week? I gave something else away last week, and I thought about giving the uh, other thing away this week, or did is my memory bad? No, not no, not giving away the keys to the Mustang. That's a good one though. Uh, my wife would kill me. Oh, I got stories for you for this past week. So, um, yeah, I guess we can get to that. Most everybody's in here, so everybody knows my block has been in the machine shop. So I'm either out of touch or the machine shop that I use is expensive. But so my goal was to, I went to Texas, got that block, come back. The block was 125 or 150 bucks. Come back, I stripped it down and I took the block to the machine shop. Yeah, it wait till you hear the price. So now, yeah. So I get it at the machine shop and I take my crank, which is 347 crank. It's a 4.5 inch stroke, I believe it is. My rods and my pistons to them. And eventually I take them my uh, flywheel and my dampener. So they do the block. There was nothing wrong with the block, but they did have to um, bead blast it. They said it was real rusty, which when I took it to them, it was pretty greasy. So I don't know. But anyway, took it, they washed it. I ended up getting charged an hour for washing it, 2 hours for bead blasting. They decked it, bored it, honed it, a line honed it. Okay, and so that's for the block. For the crank, they tried to balance it. It wouldn't balance out. Um, I don't know what people did with this crank before, but it's supposed to be a 28-ounce external balance, and it's but they had a 50-ounce flywheel, and I still haven't checked my balancer to see what it was, you know. But I took that all to them because this is how it come apart. I don't know how the engine wasn't shaking itself to death, but maybe that's the reason there was so many problems. But anyways, all that was wrong. And even with the right flywheel, they were going to have to add so much Mallory metal that it wasn't going to be cost effective for a cast crank, a $200 something crank. So got to thinking about it, and I was just going to buy another crank, and I decided, you know what? I plan on eventually putting everything in a better block. So let's take and go ahead and buy a decent crank. Well, that crank was 800 and something bucks. And I bought a neutral balance, which will hopefully help this Mustang stay together. If you know anything about the 5.0s, they like to crack in the lifter valley. So let me pause right there and let me go get my machine shop receipt, and I'll tell you what else I got with it. Okay, now, so, oh, and they R&R'd the rods and the pistons. So, plus that old crank, I, they turned it 10 before the balance, so I had to pay for that. Plus cam bearings and galley plugs, and it's rotating assembly, boring hole 30 over, clean check and mag block. Okay, so we're caught up. Oh no, I showed the wife because it was enough where she needed to know. Now, I had him order me a camshaft because he said he could get me he had a Summit account and he could get it for me for the same price. So I let him do that for me. I bought my main studs through him. They replaced the spiral locks on the uh, pistons. I ordered rings through him, rod bearing, X rod bearings and X main bearings. In other words, extra clearance for race applications. They're all and they got the black coating on them. And let's see, the crank. So, well, yeah, a complete rebuild without them putting it together. Give me your guesses. I tell you what, why don't we do this? Pete, you can re-guess, but I've told y'all everything they did, and I think I told you how much the crank was, but yeah, I told you how much the crank was. So tonight, and because I'm doing it like this, and it's not just a drawing, then tonight, the winner is the person that gets the closest to my machine shop bill. Is that good with everyone? And I would put in some half numbers in there, like, you know, something 500, something 700, something 800, something, something like that. So is everyone okay with that? And just so you know, unless y'all don't want to do this, I think this is what we're going to give away today. It's a nice little vessel, ratchet and screwdriver. Very nice little setup. I've got one. I like to use it. I actually keep it in my to-go bag because it's got a lot of good stuff. It is. So, Pete, are you sticking with your answer? Or you gonna guess something else? Because you had actually guessed before I said we were gonna do it. So we're doing the closest period. Let's see, Rob's in, Jeff's in, Pete's in, Leeser's in. Is that it? Is everybody in? Let me look and see. Rob, Pete. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Going once. Going twice. Let me figure out who's closest because I got two here. And I'm not a human calculator. Let's see. That's 600 away. That one is. Jeff, you are the closest. The right answer was the right answer was $3,646.27. Let's see. There we go. There we go. And that wasn't counting the $72.32 that I got charged for swiping my card. I give them part cash, part credit card. I've got your address, Jeff. I'll send it to you. You know what? Hold on. I think I might have messed up. So I'm going to have to figure this up because I automatically thought Pete was way off, but y'all might be pretty close. Minus 3,646. I'm sorry about that. 27 equals, that's 606.73. So Jeff, you're 606.73 away. And Pete, you're 646.27 away. Okay. I was just making sure, I thought I didn't actually add it up a few minutes ago, but when I looked at it, it seemed like it was skewed towards Jeff. But yeah, y'all were both pretty dang close when it comes down to it. Jeff just a little over 600 and you $646 away. Yeah, look, I wasn't happy when I got the bill, and I guess I'm just out of touch. The cam was 370. The crankshaft was 850. And then, the rod bearings and main bearings were 200 and almost $260 together. The labor was, let me see, what was this? This labor was 225. So their shop rate is, well, they charge all kind of different things. And I'm not saying anything bad. It's just I was very, very, very surprised because I was hoping, for some reason, I was thinking I'd have everything done around 2000, but that was ridiculous. Well, I'm having a hard time coming up with a total because I keep getting lost. So 1763 for just the labor. So let's see, have 2K in machine work in my 406. Yeah, I've got in my 332 that I've got out there. That was about, I think that was 2000 in machine work. Um, damn, I got some bad um ingestion. Yeah, cost of labor, performance part, all of it is ridiculous right now. Yeah, 15 years ago on your 406, the my 332 I did in, I guess, 19 or 20, or maybe 19, I don't know. Yeah, some of it's flat rate, some of it's by the hour, I think. And let's see. When did you buy that, Jeff? That's the big thing because they have gotten pretty crazy, and I'm not sure they do that 502 crate engine anymore, or they've got newer ones out that are bigger. So, how long ago was that? Because they used to be about 10 to 15,000, and but I think they've went up. Yeah. So it was between 10 and 15,000, wasn't it? And yours is a yeah, yours is a Chevrolet, uh, a actual Chevrolet crate engine, right? Not a Blueprint engines or whatever. Yours is a GM Products crate engine, I think. That's what I thought. Yeah, I can remember looking them up. They ain't like that no more. A Blueprint is 18,000 for a 632 cubic inch, 815 horsepower, fully dressed. So 18,299 from Summit. But so that's where I'm at. And oh, by the way, my machine shop bill is fixing to go up because I got everything home, started looking through everything, started, prepping, and I'm like, let me look at something. And I looked at the block, and how many people know what you have to do to a 302 block to stroke it to 347? And guess what they didn't do? So not only am I going to have to pay them to do that, I'm waiting for y'all to answer if y'all know what I'm talking about. But they'll also have to uh, wash it again, and I'm going to go ahead and put a new pair of cam bearings in it because I don't want no issues with a piece of metal possibly getting under a cam bearing. Plus, I spent all day Friday cleaning the block up. I went ahead and because I knew it was going to have to go back to the machine shop, I went ahead and um yes. um so I went ahead on a Ford, on small block Ford, on the oil drain backs. They are in the bottom of the heads, close to the exhaust sides. Um Oil will pool there. And in the block, the hole doesn't match up to the gasket and everything else. So oil will pull up right there and it won't flow back as fast. So I uh, dremeled out that hole a little bit on both sides, and I went in, I smoothed the block out in some places. Have you ever seen where on your grinder, that big pile of metal that ends up at the bottom of the grinder and it builds up? Well, there was a lot of that, a whole lot of that on my block, all over it. So, I mean, but it was stuck to it, but not stuck to it. It come off pretty easy. So I got all that off. I cleaned it up real good. Uh, I filed the sharp edges down, trying to get all they call it a heat riser, and it'll stress right there. I don't know. But anyway, they did clean it. I was waiting for someone to guess. So this is a 347 cubic inch kit, and it has a pretty good stroke. Well, the rod bolts will hit the cylinder wall by this much. As a matter of fact, I got a picture of it. Let me see if I can show it to you. Y'all tell me if it. So, so they didn't notch it. They knew they had to. They didn't notch it. So I had to send it back. So in this picture, you're going to see the uh, the rod bolt and where it just barely touches the cylinder wall. Let's see, where is it? There we go. See the rod bolt and then the cylinder wall. No, this is, I've had this. Summit did give me a hat. I've had it quite a while ago. So I'll give you a bigger picture of what that looks like. So this is upside down. Let's hope it don't. So if you look real close, right in there is where what I just showed you blown up. So but I knew it had to be done. I asked them to do it. They just forgot to do it. So I'll have it back. I'm supposed to have it back early next week. And I've got to buy gaskets. I've got to buy, well, let's see. I've got my next Summit list here. Let me do the Summit. I've already got everything in my cart, and I'm waiting to order it because I don't. I want to make sure I get the rest of what I need. Okay, let me share that screen with you. Yes. Here's the story on the hat. I went to Ford uh, Ford Fest at Bowling Green in 2020, 2020, I think. And Summit had a booth set up there, and I ordered the full sniper setup, distributor, uh, sniper, fuel injection, um, the coil, the controller, everything, right? And I told him, I said, here's my other list of stuff. You see what all I've ordered. Can a guy get a hat and a shirt? And they sent it to me with my order. And yeah, don't feel bad, Rob. It's, let, let me tell you a little bit where I'm at right now. So I had a Mustang and I bought in 93 and I loved that car. And, but the thing is, I was never, ever going to be able to do anything to it other than drive it and beat the hell out of it. And that's what I did. I sold it to my brother in law. And about 2 years later, I bought it back. So that poor car still gets beat the heck up. I broke the transmission 3 times. It had that Borg Warner T5. And the first time I twisted the main shaft or the cluster gear, and just, yeah, it had a heck of a time. Finally, in 2012, the Army was moving me again, and I thought I was going to have to make it past submissions. I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it, and I sold it. And the thing is, I couldn't afford none of these parts, none of that. I just couldn't. Um, and I wasn't able to afford anything like this till after I retired from the Army. So you got to understand, right after I retired from the Army, I had my military pay, my VA pay, and then um, on top of that, I got a great job at GE Appliances as a supervisor, and I was making 90 a year, and that's pretty good money from, so I had 3 paychecks coming in. I don't make that now. I'm far from that now, but I'm doing okay, and all my bills are paid, and so, you know, I am going to have to hold back on all the tools I've been buying here lately, for the next few months, because I wasn't expecting this kind of a bill, but that's a little bit of that story. And no, it wasn't exempt from being that old. What I moved one county over 10 miles from where I would have needed to, but the county I moved to, I wasn't going to need to. So, so I messed myself and sold my Mustang for no good reason. But anyway, so it just takes time to get to this point. Jeff, I'm sure Jeff didn't always have nice hot rods, and the bad thing is, it's when we start getting older is when we can kind of start affording this stuff. But anyway, let me go through. Let's see. I've got intake manifold gaskets, timing cover bolt kit. I don't need that. I could go to the hardware store and replace the ones I need to replace. Um, the 3924 auto lights, I'm going to double check, make sure I don't want a colder. I might want a hotter plug. I don't know. I'm going to be running 11.5 to 1, maybe 12 to 1 compression. So maybe a colder plug would be in store. Some decent head gaskets, exhaust gaskets. I love these valve cover gaskets. They're rubber with a steel core. Rear main seal, a good oil pan gasket, and a timing cover gasket set. So that's what's in my parts list. And I think once I get at, I'll have everything I need. I might need a harmonic balancer if the one I've got isn't the right setup. But anyway, my goal, the reasonable estimate is 380 to 400, and my heads are going to be holding me back. Let me stop chat. My heads are going to be holding me back, and I know that. I'm working on them right now, and I'm cleaning up the exhaust ports. If you know anything about porting heads, you know the geometry of the port is crucial, and you don't just hog material out of it. So I'm staying away from that. I'm just cleaning up the exhaust ports, and I'm gonna leave the intake alone for now. I did I lapped the valves, but anyway, getting back to horsepower. With the cam I'm running, and the fact that I can't go, my heads don't have springs in it to go past 6,500, but the cam is good for 6,900. So it's going to limit me some. But I'm also planning on eventually running methanol. So at the track, when I'm finally at the track, I should be high 300s, low 400s without any giggle gas, any nitrous. But eventually I will be using nitrous, but I've got a lot of other parts of the system that need to be worked on before I throw 200 extra horsepower at it. And that's about 600 is going to be my limit. I might even try to stop at about 550 estimated. What do you think your 406 does? Yeah, I always use auto-like stuff, Jeff, when I can. 780 is pretty good. I've got a 408 that is going to go in my Ranchero that I'm hoping, let's not hope, hope's the wrong word. I'm planning on building it out to about a good 7, maybe 700 on motor. But that's for a small block, or for that means you have to wind it to the moon. You got to have some good heads. So we'll see. It's still in the works, and it's probably 2 years down the road now that I got this Mustang. I'm not sure if my wife is listening to me and whether she agrees with me or not. She's leaving me tomorrow. She's going to. She's a what's it called? She works for a government contract that helps military spouses get jobs, and she works with companies to help do jobs. But not sure. Never dynoed, but I won some races against 30,000. That's awesome. That is awesome. I guess, I mean, the motor in my Fairlane, I've got 10 grand in it. And yeah. And the thing is, I haven't put all that sniper stuff on it. It's been sitting in the box since I bought it because I never got the motor running right. And I wanted to get it running right because I didn't want to introduce a new thing into it and then try to diagnose what was wrong. But once I get my, if I ever get my fuel tank cleaned up and done right, once I get that done, then I'm gonna, throw the sniper on it. Maybe I'll work on that in the next few weeks. So, but anyone else want to talk about? I have been rambling on about this dang engine. And I'm sure maybe y'all getting tired of it. Someone did leave us. Not sure who left us, but anyway, hey, I'm going to get on off here. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see y'all next weekend at same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great night.